Okay, so I'm watching Anthem. So why do I enjoy space currently? I'm 34 years old and it still fascinates me. Um, I'm always looking at suits, like Iron Man suits. In Anthem, there are all these interesting suits. That's what I'm interested in, mechanical suits. And we don't have the technology now. We barely manage football gear. Barely. We just started having safety helmets. And to be in a full metal gear and to move fluidly like these video games, that's hard to create because metal is really hard um, to move fluidly. That's why humans are in these fleshy carbon bodies because it's easier to move in. Um, so why that's interesting to me is the more fluid we can move inside something mechanical, it helps us move fluidly inside the body because we have to live in the body. Um, so why I'm interested in space is because um, one, movement in space is really hard. It's really hard to move around in space. And it always correlates back to the body for me. Um, because um, I want to learn how to move in my body, right? Just like a baby is crawling, it's kicking its legs, it's kicking its feet, it's kicking its arms out, trying to learn how to move inside the body. Well, that's when you're an infant, right? So when you're 34 years old, how do you move, right? Um, I don't want to just be stiff inside the body. I want to kick my feet. I want to kick my legs. I want to throw my arms around to see what I can do with the body. What's its limits? And it translates to how I think. How I move is how I think. And how I think is how I move. But especially how I move is how I think. So if I move really um, cautiously, like I'm reserving energy in my movement, I'm reserving ideas in my mind. If I'm very cautious in my movements, I'm very cautious in thinking. And I don't want that. I want to move freely and think freely. I think that's the reason why I'm so interested in space is because you can't move freely in space yet, right? That's why it's an interesting problem for me to solve. Is I look out in space. On Earth, you can run around. It's really easy, but in space, you can't do that, and it gets more restricting when you have astronaut gear on, right? And if you want to explore, you have these thinking of these mechanical suits, it gets even more restricting. So I'm thinking of the future, how we can move easier in space. But most importantly, it always correlates back to the body. Because I want to learn how to move inside the body. I don't know how, basically. So that's why I'm interested in space. Because I look out in space and that's how I feel. I feel restricted. I feel like an infant. I feel like I don't know how to use my body. And if I don't know how to use my body, I probably don't know how to use my brain. Because the brain's even more complex. So that's why I'm interested in space. So I'm interested in space because, in summary, because I relate to space. I look out in space and it looks like it's hard to move, and that's how I feel as well inside my body. And my brain too.